Alright, you guys saw the poll, the Eminence in Shadow won, so lock the in and let's get into it. So boom, we start with this high school girl getting ready for school, but she's being followed. She gets to school and she's like, there's this guy that I hate with my life. And yes, it's our main character, Cid. Bro says, what's up, Nishimura? And that's just not her name at all. That's real though, because sometimes you gotta put these girls in their place. You gotta ruin their egos a little bit. Bro said, my bad, I forgot you're a named character. I tried memorizing them all, but I probably just missed one. Does bro know he's in an anime or something? Like, what's going on? Now later that day, she calls her driver to get picked up, but the man gets packed up. Now in this case, what do you think she does? Call her parents to get picked up or walk home? Yes, the girl walks home and bro is just out here aura farming at the top of the school. Like, okay, Jinwoo. And on her walk home, she literally gets kidnapped. And again, the man is just watching this all happen. Now Shorty wakes up and we learn these guys are just doing it for the bag. Her pops had problems with the wrong people. But again, homie is still watching. But he drops the arm weights. Wait, hold on, Rock Lee? And he busts out the mask. Now this guy's about to do some crazy shit to her, but we see someone at the top of the building. Hold up, Batman's on him. His homie says, oh word, that's how we playing? I've been so bored since I retired from the military. Like, dog, go play a sport or something. What are we doing? So he goes at it and he starts fighting our main character and he cuts him. But bro gets all freaky and licks the blood. Like, what is wrong with this guy? So he goes in for the kill, but he busts out the bars like Hibari. If you know, you know. So now he's just dogging him and bro walks him down, parries his attack and busts his knee, turns him into Derrick Rose. Then he just starts beating him over and over and over. Yeah, there's something wrong with this kid, I can't lie. Now you won't even guess what happens next in the story. The most diabolical villain, Truck-kun, pulls up and takes out our main character. So bro gets isekai'd and he wakes up as a baby.
Nigga, where your mom at, nigga?
Not gonna lie, seeing this, I'm getting PTSD of that shitty ass T-bit anime. Sorry, that slideshow. But the world he's in now isn't a regular world, he's got magic. And he's a part of a noble family, so he's blessed, right? Everything should be good. But at night, the man turns into a literal demon. Bro packs all these guys up and he says to them, hey, give me the money, ho ass. And then he just beats them all up. Did you not hear me? Give me the money. Someone tries to get him from behind, but he blocks and kills them with his slime bodysuit. This is Rimuru if he turned evil for real. Now he finds this blob and he says, you know what? This is perfect. I needed something to f around with. And bro just starts hitting it over and over with magic and experimenting on it. But it turns into an elf girl. And the man just gets pissed because now he can't experiment anymore. But he says, listen, I broke the curse on you. Yeah, the ops cursed you and the other heroes with being chopped for life. And he tells her, yeah, the evil group who did this, they're trying to revive the Demon King, King Von. But he puts his fit on and he says, I'm Shadow, come join me, we're gonna go pack him up. I can't lie, Shadow's a very tough name. And he puts her in a fit too, and she says, I bet twin, we're gonna expand our organization and take over the world. More barbers with black gloves, more streamers, more scammers, and more bottle girls. But the name they come up with is Shadow Garden. Now it's 3 years later and he's in a 1v1 against his sister and boom, they're going at it. But shit is so easy for bro, he pauses mid-fight, flexes on her, and gets hit because he's gotta keep his power hidden. But later, out of nowhere, his sister gets abducted. What is with all the abductions here? But y'all already know Shadow's not gonna let this slide. The man shoots randomly on a map and says, yeah, that's where my sister is. So him and the whole squad go to infiltrate. Now we cut to the guy who abducted his sister. We don't even know why he did it, to be honest. And bro says, oh, your little bro got motion for real. I might have to tap in with him. And she says, hell nah. She busts out of the chains and gets ready to fight, but he just punches her straight in the face. Now the Shadows have officially entered and they're packing everybody up. Like, why is this girl licking blood right now? Who the f are you guys? You don't know us? We're Shadow Garden. Alpha says, hold on, let me 1v1 this guy quick. She goes at it and cuts the man, but he's not going out like this. He can't lose. So the man pops a perk, fights for a little bit, then he dips into the sewers. But he runs into someone even worse, the demon himself, Shadow. Now they go at it, they clash, and he says, not gonna lie, you got magic and shit, but you don't know how to use it for real. Let me show you how you really fight, look. And he parries his sword and cuts him like it's Fruit Ninja. Now after that, all the girls leave him and they say they gotta go fight OTF. And we actually find out how bro dies, and it's him hitting his head over and over, screaming magic. and he jumps in front of a moving truck. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Honestly, I'd get it if it was for Ruby Rose or some shit, but this is crazy. Now our goat finally enrolls into magic school and he meets his two homies, the background characters, but I can't lie, you always need homies like these. But his goal is to blend in and be a background character too, so they do a challenge. Whoever scores the lowest on the test has to confess to a girl. And the girl is Princess Alexia, and of course, Cid loses. Now all we see is Shorty curving people left and right. He goes in and hits her with the,
"Hey, brace yourself and give me your goddamn number."
and she says, "Yeah, I'm down, let's do it." But now he's pissed because bro is not trying to be a protagonist, and all these guys are giving him dirty, crazy stares. I'm telling you, there's always some secret hating ass guys, bro. But we learn she actually only wants him so she doesn't have to marry her teacher. Yeah, this story. Where is the police? Somebody call the police. She says, "You gotta keep this act up." He tells her, "Nah, I ain't doing this no more." But she throws money. You think I'm a cheap guy? Yes. Yes, I do. Well, you're goddamn right. And she throws more and the man jumps and catches it with his mouth. So they date a little longer, but Shorty ends it with him on the train. But now he has an even bigger problem. We learned she was abducted too and he's the #1 suspect. Now all we see is her in a lab, and who the fuck is, how is my homeboy in every anime? Like, give it a break. And the scientist comes in and takes her blood. Now we cut to Cid and the man is getting the brakes beat off him. He's like, "The pain is fine, but this is some shit they give to minor characters." He's really got his priorities wrong, I can't lie. But after a while, they finally let Cid go.
All free! All free!
And he transforms into Shadow, pulls up on Beta, aura farming, and says, "We're taking out the cult today. You know what? I'm personally pulling up too." So he turns back into Cid and leaves, and these two guards try to frame him with the girl's shoe. And he says, "Oh, this is how we're playing?" And he cuts them all up. Now back to the doctor, he stabs my homeboy with the blood, and bro gets all big and kills the scientist, but he frees Alexia. She gets ready to leave now, but she runs into her teacher. Nah, someone get this guy in jail, bro, I'm tired.
Please! Help! Help!
But he says, "If I have your blood, I can have a seat at the 12 rounds. Basically, he'll get to sit with Lil Durk and all them. So they go at it, but bro is blocking all her attacks easy, and he says, "Let me lock in," and gives her a rude punch to the dome. But then all we see is our goat walking towards him. He tries to stab Shadow, but he dodges right behind him. Easy. And says, "Where's the rest of your homies?" Now we also get introduced to Redhead Shit, who is the older sister of Alexia. And she goes and tries to kill my homeboy, but he's just regenerating. But Alpha says, "Let me handle this, bro, you're weak as hell." And just one-shots my homeboy, rip to him. Now back to Shadow, this guy uses his power. The Shadow's not taking him serious at all, he just cuts bro. But he says, "You really want to do this then, eh? Let me pop a perk," but he doesn't just take one, the man takes the whole bottle. He goes and attacks Shadow, but he says, "I'm not playing with you no more, let me show you Wagwan." And he flexes his power. Bro even tries to cut him, but the sword breaks. And Shadow says, "I am atomic," and blows up the whole area. He's actually insane, this is some DBZ level shit. But after that, Shorty is saved and everything goes back to normal, and she's all on his body. And she's like, "I really fuck with you, you want a date for real?" "Hell no, bitch." And she just cuts him up. Now Shadow Garden has a real problem. They got people taking their name, acting like they're Shadow Garden and going around doing shit. But they ain't really lived that life. They don't know about the trenches, they ain't put in no real work. Now Cid ends up in a department store and he gets taken all the way to the top, and it turns out the store is owned by one of his shadows, Gamma. Basically everything he told her about the real world, she recreated here and she's making cash. I wonder if everything here is made in China too. Now ever since meeting Shadow, Alexia's been going around killing criminals, so he goes to the top of a building and Aura Farm's watching her. But now she's getting ganged up on. She gets cut, but she punches one back, but they're not going out that easy. So now, noticing it's the perfect time to Aura Farm, the real Shadow pulls up and he says, "No way you taking my name and you ain't even really been through initiation." They try to run, but he kills one, and this new shorty says, "Hey, let me handle this," and she kills him too. But we see these guys chilling in the shadows and they say, "We need to get that item no matter what." Don't tell me they're after the infamous Closet Azul bottle, which has the power to bring all the hoes in a 20-mile radius towards you. We also meet this girl who's supposedly the smartest mind in the whole kingdom, and she has to figure out whatever this artifact is. Now we learn these fake ass shadow people are gonna keep using their name to lure out the real shadows because they want to scrap, and they even got this guy Rex the Game Betrayal on their side. Now we have the student 1v1 tournament, and of course Cid's homies enroll him in the 1v1. And his first opponent is the student president Rose. Boom, they go at it, and in slow-mo time he pops a blood pack, gets hit, and the man said background character secret technique bloody tornado. Nah, this guy's actually funny. But he gets back up and lets himself get hit again. But he ain't done, he keeps going and going and going until the ref says, alright broski, you're done, pack it up. But now we see this evil knight again, deep underground, and he says, let's get this party started. And he launches his domain. Hold on, Jujutsu Kaisen? Where is Geto, man? Even worse, Cid realizes in this barrier he can't use his magic, so they really might be cooked. The fake ass Shadow Garden pull up and they're killing everybody, claiming they're the real garden, but they're frauds. Rose comes in and tries to fight him, but her magic don't work either. Her sword gets cut and she's about to die, but Cid jumps in front of her and takes the attack. Real as fuck though, if you're gonna go out, make sure you go out saving a gal. See, all you gotta do is take the hit and survive and the girl is yours. But with that, they round up all the students and Cid successfully faked his death and he comes back to life. Now we cut to our scientist girl and Rex breaks in the window and says, I'ma need that artifact, shorty. But this big ass guy blocks the attack. Think you're better than me? Look at my character design. Yes, I think I'm better than you. With that distraction, shorty takes her time to leave. Now Cid is just watching all over and he's pissed because they really took his name. They don't even got the right drip on. They're wearing H&M, we only rock Dior over here. So he starts shooting them one by one. Now he meets up with the scientist girl again and she says, yeah, the artifact they have absorbs all magic and releases it all at once. So we're probably all gonna die. But with the artifact she has in her hand, she can stop it. Now we cut to these two and they're like, those Shadow Garden guys are really here. We gotta be locked in. Basically, bro's evil plan is he wants to join the round table again. Like, holy, can we get a villain who wants something different? Like making two-mans mandatory? Cid meets up with Shadow and she says, we all ready to move, gang, let us know when. Now Cid and the scientist girl finally get the artifact to work, so she sneaks in the auditorium, chucks that shit like it's a Pokeball, and it destroys the barrier. With that, the students finally get their magic back and they start fighting. And these guys are like, they're strong as hell. Yes, because you guys are phonies. Then out of nowhere, the goat appears, breaking the glass from the ceiling, aura farming again. And all the shadows line up in the auditorium. And he says, we're Shadow Garden. We're here to put y'all in a split. So they all go at it, but this ain't a real battle for Shadow Garden. This is like Michael Jordan versus all those plumbers. Shit was easy. Now what do you think the big bad villain does when he sees this? The man starts a fire and leaves. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Now he's in a room alone and he's looking all over, and Cid pulls up aura farming at the window. Nigga, I know who you are.
Donnell, that's you.
How'd you know it's me? Because I'm the GOAT, how else? But he says he was the best swordsman at one point, then he got sick. He meets Sherry's mother and funded her research, but she didn't want to give him the artifact, so he just packs her up and makes her kids start doing the research too. Yeah, this guy's evil for real. Now they go at it and he cuts Cid. But nah, don't tell me this is all you got, gang, be for real. But he says, I'm gonna make sure y'all are gonna be traitors forever. And Shadow says, we not scared of no one. And he cuts his legs and his arms and he finally kills him. Shorty has to sit there and watch it all. That's some next level trauma, I can't lie. Now after that, we cut to Cid and Rose on the train to the Sacred Lands, and she's all over him because he saved her, but he's not even feeling her like that. He really just wants a Latina, which I respect. But they're going to take the goddess trial, which basically lets a dead hero come back and 1v1 you. Now they go into town and we literally see Beta, one of his 7 shadows who's also an author, straight up copy popular books word for word, bar for bar, and sell them. Shorty made 1 purse and Dragon Bowl. I can't even hit on the grind though, cause that's real. Now it's finally time for the goddess trial, but something fishy is going on. The Archbishop is dead and this bald guy decides to take his place. You know, a guy like this has no business being in a position of power. Now Cid is watching the trials and he's sitting there like, I should just pop out right now and show him my power. Nah, I'll wait. But when the hell is this gonna be over? And then the announcer says, next up, Cid Kageno. Huh? He's like, what the hell am I gonna do? Fuck it, let me just aura farm. So he pulls up as Shadow and he says, if y'all don't know who I am, I'm really him. My name is Shadow. But then the trial activates and ancient shit pops out.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
And her name is Aurora, the Witch of Calamity. And obviously she wants to scrap. So boom, she goes in with her bloodbending and attacks Shadow all over, but he's dodging everything. But one of them gets his foot. But bro is like, I'm just happy I get to be with a baddie like you. And you know what? I get it. I can't even hate. But Shadow goes in with the quickness from the sky and kills her.
Shayla! My Shayla!
And then she shatters, and Shadow just dips. But with that, the domain expansion breaks, and a whole ass transmutation circle appears in the city. Then a door appears right in front of Cid, and he goes in. Now Cid runs into ancient shit again, but she's in a straitjacket? What the hell did she do? At the same time, Alpha and the rest of the squad take this bald ass guy and go into the barrier too, because they know he knows what's really happening here. So they go down deep into the tunnels, and then this shit turns into a whole laboratory. Now what do you think they were doing in this laboratory? They were implanting kids with the demon cells. What is wrong with them? This is why we have all these YNs in the world.
We sweet cheese in the dirt, twin.
But this bald ass guy's been making perks from the demon arm, and he's been popping them every year to stay alive longer. But his secret's finally out, and he starts crashing out, saying he did this because he had to. But Delta just stabs the man mid-speech and he drops into the water. But he ain't done yet. The man turns into some nasty flesh thing and then transports all of them into a white room. Hold on, Cecil? And then he uses Shadow Clone Jutsu. But Delta's crazy. She literally packs them all up with ease. Bro says, how the... You know what? Let me use my true power. But Delta uses her true power too and crushes all of the Shadow Clones. Now somehow he survives that attack. But he had one more trick up his book. He summons the hero Olivier. I don't know if it's Oliver, but the way they say it is Olivier. But after he does that, all the shadows leave, and he decides to go to the sword room. Then he meets Cid and ancient shit. Bro's like, hey, go kill that. He let ancient shit brainwash him. So Olivier goes in with the quickness and hits him into a wall. Now she's hitting him all the way around and even stabs him in the shoulder. So now it's looking great. Ancient shit's like, you know what? Leave me behind, twin. It's good. You ain't gotta do all this. But he's like, I got this. You know who I am? But boom, he gets stabbed right through the chest. But then he grabs her, breaks her arm, and bites her shoulder. What is happening right now? But with that, she disappears. But he ain't done yet. The man had a whole army of Oliviers. Like, is this guy okay? But now Shadow's had enough fun. He wants this to be over. He says, all the steps to get out of here, I'm gonna just blow everything up. He says, I am the all-range atomic, and he just blasts everything. Nah, I'm not gonna lie, I really rock with this guy. He's one of my favorite MCs. Now, after that happens, we officially have the Bushin Festival. Shadow decides he's gonna disguise himself and enter the tournament, and he transforms into Jinwoo? I mean, mundane man. So while he's transformed, he's walking, and some gal comes up to him and says, hey, don't enter the challenge. You're not built for it, little bro. And he says, what the f you think you are? And this guy comes in and says, hey, when someone gives you advice, you take it. Like, oh my gosh, I hate when guys do this. They always try to act big and bad when gal are around. Like, she's not gonna deal with you, bro. Pack it up. But with that, these two go at it fighting, and Mundane loses on purpose. Now, next day, we officially have Mundane's first fight. So battle starts, and he gives this guy a rude punch, and he falls to the ground. But to everyone else, it looks like he just tripped and fell himself. But that girl, she knows what really happened. Now, his next battle is versus Gold. And then at the same time, we learn Rose literally stabbed her fiance, the old man, perv asshat, and then runs away. Not gonna lie, what is with this show and the high schoolers dating grown men? I don't know what's happening here. Now Cid is watching some of the other fights, and this hooded girl pulls up on him and she says, hey, you seen a girl who looks like me? An elf? Nah, I ain't even seen her, I'll be honest. And she instantly goes and tries to stab him. What is wrong with everyone here? Now it's finally time for the match, Goldie vs Mundane. Bro really thinks he's Gilgamesh too, you're not that guy, bro. He goes in and tries to cut him, but Mundane dodges. But instead of hitting him back, he just lets him slide, and Gold takes that as disrespect.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me?
So he powers up, busts out a whole ash dragon, and he goes in and tries to kill him. But the man has allergies and he sneezes and KOs Gold. Yeah, I can't lie, you gotta pack it up after that. It's time to fill out the job application. After that match, this purple girl pulls up on him and she says, listen, you may be strong, but I know all your moves, boy. Bro says, we not on the same level, little girl, and drops his weights again. Yeah, he's crazy. Now, we officially see what really happened with Rose. She goes and meets her pops, and she sees bro is being controlled. Looks like he's been on a 7-day bender. She goes to kill Perv Asshat, but she doesn't get the job done. But this is exactly what they wanted. She gets chased out, and she's officially labeled a criminal. Now, she's lost deep in the tunnels, and who do you think is there to meet her? Yeah, she meets my goat Shadow, and the man is just playing piano. That's hard as hell. What is that, Mozart? But he tells Shorty, are you ready to join a real side? Once you take this power, there's no going back. But she says, sign me up, twin, I'ma ride out. So he gives her her power and she officially joins the Shadows. And the power she got ain't no joke, she packs all these guys up easy. Now it's time for more of the Bushin Festival and bro gets to sit beside redhead shit. But now we officially have Mundane versus Anna Rose. Boom, she zooms in, but he parries. She comes back and slashes him, but he dodges behind and says, that was an after image. Now he hits her in the air and slashes her in the ground. This is really some DBZ shit. Shorty says, you better than me at everything. I have no more moves. Let me try talk no jutsu.
Trying to defeat you with force isn't gonna work. I get that now.
Nah, but she gets ready to go for a counter. So he goes in with the speed and she gets ready to counter. But then the man dodges and counters her counter and he cuts her shoulder. And with that, Mundane is the winner. Now Perv Asshat is watching all this and he's like, hold up, who the hell is this guy? Is he an op? Hey, go find out everything you can about this guy. Now we have the final battle, Iris versus Mundane. Boom, fight starts. She instantly feels her head being chopped off and she jumps back. Bro says, shorty, is you not attacking? What is he doing? She gets up, but she feels her legs get cut. Nah, bro's putting her in a genjutsu. She really can't attack right now. And everyone's like, bro, what is wrong with this girl? Isn't she supposed to be strong? Is she just a fraud? So she starts to crash out and she releases all her power and she goes into strike. But his sword was missing. Basically, his genjutsu was so strong, he made it seem like he really had a sword in his hand. He parries her sword with his hand, grabs her by the neck, and puts his sword on her. And he says, we're just getting started. Now Rose finally returns to the castle and she takes a knee and sees her pops and she says, Pops, I'm sorry, but I gotta do what I gotta do. She runs at him and ends her own pops. Now all the guards go after her because she just offed the king. But Mundane pulls up and cuts them all up. Then he does the reveal and transforms into Shadow. And he tells her, leave so you can keep fighting. But now we have a new challenger to face Shadow. Beatrix joins the fight. They're going at it and he steps and pulls up right behind her. Bro is literally a walking aura farmer. And he hits her and she falls on her back. We just getting started, shorty. Just take it slow. But Iris wants her get back. She's actually crashing out. So she pulls up with an artifact. Like, dog, accept your fate. You should be happy you're even a named character. But she powers it up and swings. But Shadow dodges and pulls up behind her. And he says, not gonna lie, that shit kinda look cool. And these two literally try to jump him, but they don't know Shadow's body. But Iris finally gets a hit in and hits into a building. They go to finish him off. But he busts out the old crowbars and starts battling them. Beatrix is like, who are you? I've been saying this the whole series, bro. I am Shadow. What are we talking about? Bro takes the battle to the water and starts water bending at them. But Shorty blasts fire all over. He goes right up to her and kicks her straight in the ground. Now Beatrix comes back and breaks his crowbar. And these guys are fighting so fast, regular people can't even see them right now. Now Iris comes back to the fight and tries to feint him and tackle him. And gives her a rude knee of justice to the jaw. Beatrix comes in and tries to do a finishing blow, but he dodges. Throws her on top of Iris and steps on them. Yeah, this guy is crazy. 1v1 versus Jinwoo, I don't even know who I got. He's literally just laughing and Shorty says, why are you laughing? All the guards, nah, the whole world is gonna be after you now. It's over. Y'all thought I was running? Do I look like a hoe ass to you? Nah. Do I look like a hoe ass? Tell me. And he flexes his power. And the man's domain goes over the whole country. Playtime is over, hoes. And he says, look at my earth-shattering attack. I am but he actually faked it and disappears. And this girl is literally crying. Like, pack it up now. You were never gonna win. It wasn't possible. You were never gonna win. It wasn't possible. All right, that is all for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the series. If you want me to keep doing this, because I will. Probably the longest video on my page. I'm surprised I even did this long, I'm not gonna lie. If you're going to DreamCon, holla at me. Make sure to follow me on all socials. Let me know what else you want me to do. I've been seeing some Scissor 7. I'm gonna go watch that just now and see what it's about. And I'll probably make a video on that very soon. And yeah, One Piece is gonna keep rolling. What else you want me to do? Let me know, because we're gonna keep growing, keep flowing. We're not rowing. I don't even know where I was going with that. I can't rap. But yeah, catch y'all boys and girls. This is already taking long. Catch y'all boys and girls in the next video. Free Jeff.